Oh,
Hey everybody, welcome to the Tony's Picks Happy Hour here for Friday, January 2nd, 2026. Hey, if you're new to the Tony's Picks Happy Hour, make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up as well. Greatly appreciated. Look what I got. I got Kevin Chalmers with me today. Let me break down the card. He was asking me which sport we're going to start with. I don't know yet. We haven't really decided what sport we want to get to and what we want to start with here on the Friday slate. We've got some that are going on right now. College football side of things, we see Navy up by 7 here after one quarter. We've seen the earlier game earlier where we've seen a blowout on one side. Definitely lopsided matchup earlier today. Who was it? Texas State taking on Rice, 41-10 there in that matchup. But hey, lots of couple bowl games to get to still. We got the Duke Mayo Bowl and I'm not sure the other one.
the Holiday Bowl is going to be the good one. The Mayo Bowl probably will be better.
The
Just
Mayo Bowl.
Rub
Yeah,
mayonnaise on our faces instead of watching that one.
Yeah, exactly right. One of those games. And then we got a bunch in the NBA to get to, and then we've got the NHL who's kicked off already. I see it's 3-3 in the NHL side of things. This is still 3-3. Yep, still 3-3. About 9 minutes left in the third in Vegas, St. Louis to kick off the day 3 on the NHL side of things. So wherever you want to start. But hey, before we get started, we'll head on over to Capper, see how they're doing, and then we'll get to those plays. But hey, you can also find our best bets over at Tony'sPicks.com. Quick link is in the description. But hey, got Kevin with me. How you doing, Kevin? Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year to you too, Rod. Let's start it off with some wins, give out some free winners here, and let's keep cashing some of these tickets. I mean, that's what it's all about. This is the best time of the year. Got to take advantage of what football we have left, because then we got to go to that crapshoot of NBA. You never know who's going to play. They rest every other day. It's getting horrible. I'm actually looking forward to WNBA. Those women, they don't rest. They just go out there and throw their bodies around. But I'm sure once they start making the big money, it'll be to the rest.
Eventually, once they get a pay raise. But until then, hey, it'll still be banging around and some pretty good games in the WNBA. So, hey, speaking of today's slate, let's get to today's action. We'll head on over. Let's do these 2 bowl games you said. We were talking about the Duke Mayo Bowl, which is the Cowbells. We got Mississippi State taking on Wake. I think Mississippi State laying 2.5 there now. Was 3.5 down to 2.5. And then we got Arizona taking on SMU in the Holiday Bowl. SMU laying 1.5 in that one. Total 54.5. Anything in those 2 bowl games for you?
Well, yeah, if I had to take, if you're gonna, all my chips are on Navy. Ex-Navy guy here. That's my favorite college team. New Cincinnati was sitting everybody. Quarterback Sorsby, all those guys were jumping ship, NFL and stuff like that. And the sell for me was the back end of that Cincinnati's defense. Pretty much all those guys out, but it's a rain fest. So, Navy one-dimensional. Cincinnati's still got a great defense, so I'm a little worried about that, the cover there, but we see 7-0. I would look at SMU. I am seeing a couple 2.5 -2s. Looks like a lot of the public's on Arizona, and rightfully so. Arizona, great team, but aren't we a little disappointed with the Pac or the oh my gosh, I must have said Pac-12, the Big 12? I mean, I was all in with Texas Tech over Oregon, and man, that was horrible. That was a disgrace. SMU, ACC, a little bit better conference, I think, in my opinion. So I'm going to ride with SMU. It looks like a lot of the public likes Arizona earlier, 78% of the money, 52% of the tickets. SMU, solid quarterback play, and both teams they're all playing. They're all going to start. They're all playing. No real opt-outs in this game. This is a privilege for these guys, which it should be. So I'm going to go ahead and ride SMU. I know it's a travel. I think this one's in California. SMU did play Cal in California and lost that game, which was a kind of a head scratcher. So it's a tough one because of being on the road, basically in Arizona's backyard, you could say. But I'm going to go with SMU. I think too much public action for this to be a -2. This kind of action, you would almost be at a pick 'em or +1 SMU when you're getting over 50% on Arizona, and that much of the public tickets, the money on Arizona as well.
Right, and for me here in this one, I like the under. I think it's a lower scoring game between these two squads. Said Arizona's got a lot of opt outs on their side of things. Well, a couple guys, anyways. SMU, I just think it's a lower scoring game. SMU, they love to throw the ball, but when you look at things, Rhett Lashley in these away or neutral games. Non-conference 10-0 to the under is Rhett Lashley in these away or neutral non-conference games. I think this is 27-24, and that will cruise us underneath this total. That's up to 52.5. Some places have this up to 54.5. I think it's risen. Somebody's thinking we're going to get an over, and I think we're going to get an under. So at 54.5, I like the under, and then definitely the Duke Mayo Bowl. I love the under there as well. As you said, it's there's some opt-outs there in that one. Michigan State not even having their regular hit. The QB that started there is opted out. So you're getting some guys that some freshmen going there. Michigan State side of things. And Wake is just after this type of rest, it's just they trend to the under. So I think these two night games to go under, and Cincinnati just tied that game up.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching. I know. Don't remind me. I told you I'm a little nervous. It's a little nervous. But SMU, let's remember, SMU is one of the few teams that hang a loss on the Hurricanes. Can't forget that. I mean, it was in overtime. They had them at home. But if you're watching the college football playoffs, this Miami team turned into something special. Don't
forget
that might be someone up there looking down. Pulling some strings on that, if you ask me. But I think it's something special is going on. So I'm back to SMU. I like SMU just for those reasons alone. ACC hung the loss on Miami, and
it's where it's moving, right?
This team's highly motivated.
Arizona was favored at this open. The ranked team that's 9-3 against a team that's 8-4, and this is just slowly moved. Now it's on the SMU side, -1.5. Totally flipped from where it was. So I get the SMU. I just like the under. I can't grab a side here.
I agree with you. Arizona hangs their hat on that pass defense, so it's going to be tough for SMU, who loves to pass the ball. You mentioned that earlier. Yeah, yep. These bowl games, though, is pretty much the last time for these guys to showcase what they can do. So, probably be some turnovers in this game.
Definitely. That's the only thing about anybody when you're on an under. It's the those havoc plays that wreak havoc on totals. When you're trying to have an under, all of a sudden somebody picks sixes one, or kickoff returns one, or even punt returns one for 7 points. It's the those fast scores you don't like when you're hanging on an under. But hey, that wraps up the college football. Let's head on over. We only got 3 on the hockey, so let's we'll skate those out of the way fast. We got the Rangers taking on Florida in the Winter Classic. We've got Minnesota taking on Anaheim later on, 10:30 game. And then we got Seattle here on the back-to-back taking on the Canucks. Anything there on the ice for you?
Well, you know me. I'm very selective on the ice. It's pretty much I have to really see these lines move and stuff. But I have been a fan of the Anaheim Ducks this year. I mean, they did pretty good on the road. I don't know if they're on a back-to-back or anything here. And this seems kind of fishy, getting plus money. I know it's they're going against a team with a better record in the Minnesota Wild. But I think if I had to throw something up and make it stick, I'm going to go with the Anaheim Ducks at home for the plus.
I've covered all the hockey on the earlier show, but in this one, I'm going to take the under 5.5 here in the Winter Classic. I think it's just one of those lower scoring spots. It's supposed to be soupy ice too, as they say. It's warm weather in Florida to be having outdoor games. I'm telling you, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting how this game is going to roll along. But I think it's going to be a gritty game. I don't think these two teams like each other very much. And you got some soupy ice rolling along. I think we're going to see some hard hits. I mean, say that we might even see some fisticuffs in this game. Definitely going to be a grimy game. Let's put it that way. Especially,
Well, what do they what do
slow.
they do if that ice starts melting? Do they start pulling these the stars out of this game so they don't get hurt? I mean, now they're going to be
Yeah,
falling,
they'll
won't
keep
they?
playing.
All right.
They'll keep playing. They'll figure it out.
We'll play through some slush.
I don't think it's like this much slush, but it's going to be slow. Yeah, slow and smooth skating around. Don't fall down. You get that wet ass. Nothing like that wet ass spot on some sloppy ice. I played on some sloppy ice up here. You don't want the season to go, but these guys will love it. They'll still enjoy the game. I just think it's a low scoring one because of that. It's going to be tough to make passes. Normally, we see these outdoor games, it's cold. You're worrying about how cold it is. Look, it's minus 40 and they're blizzard and bundled up.
Yeah, they have it up at Fenway where it's negative degrees and stuff. Yeah.
And this one's at a plus temperature, so it's gonna be interesting to see how the puck reacts on the outdoors. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a little bit slushy, which will probably make for some frustrating hockey for some players that are trying to make a crisp, clean pass. Slush might slow up that pass, so definitely will. Moving the puck around is not what you want to be seeing, I think, in this game. I think we're going to see a lot of, like I said, a lot of hits, a lot of grinded out in the corner type of game. Dump and chase. That is what you're going to get. A lot of dump and chase, grinding in front of the net. So those usually tend to the unders. Yes. And the Blues are up 4-3. Yes. Nothing wrong with that. Who doesn't like an upset there? I would. Let's go. All right, that wraps up the NHL. Let's head on over to some college hoops. It's still that time of year. We're not going to. There's still a good slate that's going on here today. We've seen Cornell whip it up on their little beat it up on the Softies game. What else do we see? FIU, New Mexico State earlier, 89-74 FIU. And FIU definitely the better team there. But few games, some good games on the slate going in college basketball tonight. Anything there for you, college basketball side of things there?
Well, one that I stayed away from, and I wish I wouldn't have after looking at all the public's reaction here. You got USC with one loss on the road against an undefeated Michigan team, and they're getting a ton of points. I mean, that's 22 points. I mean, they're begging you to take USC. And look, I don't know how you don't take those points, but I'm gonna have to ride with Michigan laying the 22 and a half. I mean, I'm a Yaxel Lungenberg fan, man. When he played for UMB, I used to take UMB a lot last year. And a lot of my write-ups, and I talk about him, a lot of people are like, who is this guy? And I get comments all the time. But I think people realize who he is, and he's a top, I'd say 3 lottery pick going to be in this year's NBA lottery. The kid's a phenomenal. And then you're looking at the other games like Oregon and Maryland. I like the Maryland. I know. I guess without Queen, he went on to the Pelicans and he's playing phenomenal ball. They're still laying 1.5 against Oregon. Oregon's not a great team this year. I'm surprised they're not like Baylor and going to try to sign some NBA kids. But the public's all over Maryland here, and it kind of scares me. So I would go with Oregon here because you're seeing some -2s, which is it's kind of telling, especially with Oregon's record. I'm pretty sure they're like 7-5 or something like that. And this is a Big Ten battle, so give me Oregon here in this spot as well.
Yeah, you look at that game. It's both teams 7-6 on the year, but as you said, Oregon out on the road. They're 0-1 out on the road in their true road games this season, and I'm with you. I like the Ducks there, and that's what somebody knows something. That's why the Ducks are the 1.5 favorite, and as you said, there's some 2s popping out there in that one as well. So I'm with you. We got to go with the Ducks there in that one, and then another one I'm liking here in these games today. I like Stanford here in this spot here against Louisville. Louisville off that nice big win last time. They blew somebody out of the water. Who was that? But they're still on this trip, still on this road trip. They went to Cal, right? They went to Tennessee, flopped back home, beat up on Montana, and then came out this way out west to take on Cal. Beat up on Cal, beat them by 20. But now you're going against the Stanford squad here that I know Stanford didn't look so good against Notre Dame. It was 47-40 in that game at home. I think they were really looking forward to this game here. I'm going to grab Stanford plus the 8.5. I think they can keep it close with Louisville in that matchup. And then looking at Michigan USC, I like the over. It was at 172.5 up to 173. I think that, as you said, Michigan, big number. I think at home here, they could probably pin 100 on USC. So you only need USC to pitch in a little bit there to get us over. I like the over in that one. And then one more, and then the later games. Give me the Beavers here, taking on Pacific. You look at Pacific at home, 5-0, 2-1 against that number. Hey, and I look at that, and I go, okay, so you had 3 line games, 2 games at home that you easily scheduled some soft opponents. Oregon State, no slouches here. 2-0 against that number out on the road, 1-1 straight up. So in a game that I think that Oregon State is a live dog, has a shot to outright Pacific, I'll grab the 4 that you're giving me. Give me the Beavers plus the 4 there in that one. And then speaking of those, Notre Dame and the Irish and Cal's laying 4.5 here in this one. I like the under. I think it's a lower scoring gap battle. We know that Notre Dame can play some solid defensive ball, and out on the road, 3-0 ATS wise. So lean into the 4.5, but I like the under 137 as the play there in that one. Hey, that wraps up college basketball. Let's head on over to the NBA. We've got a few games on the slate.
Another great game that I forgot to mention will be, it's my premium pick, Michigan State and Nebraska. You get Michigan State ranked 9th, getting a 1.5 against the 13th ranked Nebraska at home. That's going to be a great battle because the only loss Michigan State has absorbed is to Duke. And we could all say Duke's definitely a top 5 team right now. On the other side, Nebraska, I think their biggest win was against Illinois on the road, which is a huge feat to win on the road in college basketball. So I'm not taking anything from them being undefeated, but it's going to be a great game because that's huge for Big Ten right there with those 2 teams. So yeah, definitely watch that game too. I would definitely look at that under. I think they're pumping it up to 145, and the public seems to be on the over. So I would definitely look at the under in that. It might be a little bit of defensive battle. My biggest worry is with that small of a score, it goes overtime. You know what I mean? When they won or pick them, then you got to start worrying. I'm gonna go overtime and cash that over. So if I gave out a free one on that, I would take that under 145.5 if I could find it.
Yeah, I don't mind that under as well. It's probably a slow paced game, and just as you said, it's going to be that close of a game. It worries me on an under. Does no OT. This is all you don't want to see. You just don't want to see that game go to OT, and I think you definitely cruise to the under. First to 70 type of game wins that one in that battle. Should be a good one. 2 good squads. Michigan State. How many games have they played in a row? A couple, right? So
yeah.
It's that time of year. College basketball is going to start to heat up. I'm looking forward to the conference games. It was January starts to heat up. We know conference games are right around the corner. And then here we go. Let's get to this NBA. Woo! Who doesn't love the NBA? Everybody loves to bet the NBA, but we just wish we had a little more readily information on who's in, who's out, that type of thing. So we've got 10 on the slate here today. We'll split it up. We'll do the first 4, all the ones that are at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we got 2 at 7 p.m. Eastern, 2 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we'll leave the 6 later ones, the ones that are after 8 p.m. So Spurs, Pacers. Spurs laying 5.5 here in this one. No,
yeah,
Wemby.
That's kind of like what? 5.5.
Right, with no Wemby, laying 5.5 there. I even see some 6.5 as well.
Yeah, so. I see we're getting 72% of the bets on the Spurs. They're stocked with previous draft picks and number ones, and even when Victor was out, they still went on a nice winning run. My thing is, it doesn't seem like a lot of points against a Pacers team, looking for answers, without Halliburton and stuff. So it would put me on the Pacers with that record and the public all over that. Pacers seem to be a little bit better at home. I think they're actually off a win. Or no, but they covered against the Magic for sure. Looks like they covered against the Rockets. So they seem to be a covering machine as of late. So yeah, give me the Pacers plus whatever points, the 5.5 or that 6 if I can get it.
If you look, the coach of the Pacers, I think he cruised to what, 999 wins wise. Hasn't won in one game since. I think the coach of the Pacers stalled at 999 and has cruised to what is it, 13, 14 straight losses since he cruised into that 999 wins. So I don't know, not one I'm rushing to, but anyways, also in the slot we got 3 other games. Brooklyn taking on the Net or Washington, so the Nets. Wizards. We got Atlanta taking on the Knicks, and then we got the Denver Nuggets in to take on the Cavs. Cavs laying 14 there in that one, as we alluded to in that first one. No Vassell, no Wemby. On the Pacers side of things, no Jackson, no Toppin. Looks like Connell is probable. Looking at the Nets and the Wizards, no. On the Nets side of things, no Cam Thomas, no Porter, no Highsmith, no Claxton. Man is probable. On the Washington side of things, no George, no Kispert, and no Whitmore. Looking at Denver Cavs, we know Joker's out, Valanciunas out, Johnson out, Gordon out, Braun out, Bates out, Strather probable, Murray probable for the Nuggets. Well, now we see why that's at 14. Cavs side of things, no Strus, no Nance, Wade, Merrill, questionable, Hunter, probable. And then the last one in the spot, Hawks, Knicks. Trae Young is out for Atlanta. On the Knicks side of things, Towns, Robinson, questionable. Hart and Shamet are out. Ooh, give me the over for me in these ones. Denver, Cleveland, I think at 240. I think run and gun, we go. Give me the over 240. Even with Joker out, I think that turns into a track meet. We know the Cavs can score some points, starting to get healthy, playing some good ball. They've been dropping them 120s, 130s on teams. So I like the over 240 there in that one. And then give me the Nets at 3.5 against the Wizards here. The Nets are better on the road than what the Wizards are at home. Wizards 5-10 ATS wise. Well, the Nets out on the road, hey, they're got us a winning ATS record out on the road, 8-6 this season. So you give me over possession with that dumpster fire game. Give me the Nets plus the 3.5. Anyone's there for you?
Well, I would look at the Nets, Igor Demon. We can get his points, his rebounds, and assists. We know how good this kid is with the ball in his hand. Over 20.5, minus 140. That's a lot. That's a lot of juice. So I would try to get that up a little bit to around 22. That'll get you about 120. But I agree with you there with the Nets. Looks like the public's all over Washington, given the 3.5, whatever it is. Looks like 63% of tickets and the money. So that would definitely put me on Brooklyn's side. New York, Atlanta. That's a pretty high score, especially if those guys are out, Trae and Towns. It looked like it opened at 244.5, and now we're seeing 241. So I would drop the under. I know a lot of these games have been going way over. I mean, we've been seeing some 260s and some crazy numbers. But New York, they hang their hat on their defense. I know Hart is out, and he's like their main defender, kind of. But I know OG is also a great defender for New York. So I would go under. I think it could be a slower pace game. New York does have the size advantage, even without Towns out. You said Robinson's out too for this. I might not touch that then. With Robinson's in, he's not a big scorer. He's more of a defender. Atlanta, without Porzingis, they really don't have a big center. So they lean on those two rookies, and they're not scoring points at all. So yeah, give me the under 241.5. Atlanta, New York for the slate of windows. But then I'm looking at Igor, looking at his points, rebounds, and assists for Brooklyn Nets. If I can get 22.5, I'm seeing 20 at minus 140, which is too much juice for me for a prop.
Okay, that wraps up the first 4 in the NBA. We got 6 more on the slate to get to. Let's get to those. We got the Magic in to take on the Bulls. We got Portland taking on the Pelicans. Portland up to 3.5 now in that one. Magic 5.5. It was or a 5 down to from the 5.5. I see Milwaukee hosting Charlotte. Bucks laying 5.5 in that one. Suns hosting the Kings. I believe the Kings are on the back-to-back here in this one. Suns laying 13.5. And then we got OKC laying 13.5 against the Warriors. Warriors in the first half of the back-to-back spot. I believe a few guys are out for the Warriors in that one. And then we got Memphis taking on the Lakers. Lakers up to 4. Have a quick little look. Portland's game. Portland, we're looking at no Grant, no Henderson, Holiday, Thibault, Wesley, all out. On the Pelicans side of things, no Sadiq Bey, Jones, Murphy, Murray, Queen, all out for the Pelicans. Magic Bulls, on the Bulls side of things, few guys out. Collins, Flowers, Giddey, Miller, Aldrich, Kobe White, all out. On the Magic side of things, no Franz, no Mo still. Castleton out. Isaac questionable for the Magic. Bucks, Hornets, we're looking at Giannis is probable. Prince out for the Bucks. On the Charlotte side of things, the Good Williams out. Plumlee, Cockbrenner out. Dabati questionable. And Bridges is probable for Charlotte. On the Kings side of things, looks like Levine and Sabonis both out for the Kings. Suns side of things, no Allen, no Green, both out. Looking at the Warriors side of things, I know we got a few guys out there. First of all, back-to-back there. We got Melton out, Green out, both Seth and Steph out. Curry-wise, Butler also out. Horford and Cryer are both questionable, both probable that they're going to play. On the OKC side of things, no Williams, no Tovic, Hartenstein, and Dieng out. Memphis Lakers side of things, we got no Vincent, no Thero, no Reeves, no Hachimura, Vanderbilt probable. Looking at Memphis, we got a big laundry list. Williams, Pippen, Concar, Jerome, Edey, Clark, all out. Looks like Pope and Wells are probable. I'll get us going here in the in these late night ones. You know, I don't trust the Pelicans here in the spot. Both teams 5-5, but Portland 3.5. I like Portland in the spot. I think they come into New Orleans, get themselves a big old win. I'm going to take the extended line. I found me a minus 9.5 for Portland. I think they win by 10 plus. Beat up on the Pelicans. You get yourself a nice little plus 220 on that extended line, and then. I don't know. OKC beating up on the Warriors that are missing a few guys. I don't know. I've seen the Warriors in a few games this season when they get these big giant numbers that the second stringers in their bench just have stepped up. So I don't know. Do you want to get in front of OKC though? I'd have to lean to the Warriors though. I think that's just too many. OKC getting a little bit overvalued there, especially out on the road. They do play their better ball at home. Do they care about winning and whipping it up on the Warriors without both Curry brothers going? Nah. I think it's a 9-10 point win there. I'll grab the Warriors plus the points there in that one. I don't know where to Kevin. Anything there in the late night NBA for you?
Well, if Miles Bridges playing, I'm diving all over that 231, the over. I see that's like come down 2 points from 233. With him questionable, though, if he doesn't play. With him and Khan, those two, I mean, Khan definitely rookie of the year, in my opinion, right now. Those guys are scoring machines for Charlotte. I did take Brandon Miller while you were talking for Charlotte, over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I don't know if you saw the last time they played the Bucks. I forget who was holding him, and he pushed him out of bounds, and you could read his lips. He's telling him to go F himself. He had a phenomenal game, and a lot of people forget about Brandon Miller because he comes into the league as a number 1 or 2 pick, and then he's hurt right away, and then he's hurt to start this season. But this shooting guard he can do it all, ladies and gentlemen, and he's going to do it today against Milwaukee. I think he'll be highly motivated for this game because he was pretty pissed off in that game. I agree with you with the Golden State when you got Jimmy Butler and Green. Those two guys play great defense. I would definitely look at that under in that game, probably a little bit on Golden State with all those points as well. And I don't know what the hell is going on with the Lakers. I can't trust them. I think Reeves, beside Doncic, are the best two players, and he's been out for a while. So I would have to take Memphis. I know they're hurting without Edey in there with that size, but the Lakers really don't have anyone to contend either. I mean, Aton, he puts up minimal points. I mean, he's solid, but I don't know what LeBron is anymore. So I would have to ride Memphis there, getting the points.
Hey, that wraps up the sports slate here for Friday as we head into the weekend. So, hey, brings us to the parlay player prop game in the future. Leave it up to the cabinet to decide whatever they want to hand you out here. And then they'll let you know what they got going over at TonySpicks.com, because that's where you can find our best bets and premium plays are over at TonySpicks.com. Quick link is in the description. So head on over to Kevin. What do you got for us here today?
Well, for the props, I just gave you Brandon Miller over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We'll go over into college football. We'll mix these sports up for you. I'm going to take SMU laying the 1.5. And then college basketball, I'm going to go ahead and take Michigan laying all those juicy points to USC. It's just begging the public to take USC with all those points, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and take Michigan. That'll be my three-pick parlay for you. Oh, what I got going over at Tony's Picks? Well, my college football game's already going. I have a premium on that game I talked about earlier, Michigan State and Nebraska. And my NBA, I have an NBA pick also as well on that Milwaukee-Charlotte game. That is a premium as well for me. That's it.
Nice. And then for me, over to Tony's Picks, I've got my NBA Gold Star Play of the Day. We dropped it the other day. Want to bounce right back yesterday with the Clippers, looking like they were trying to blow it late, but decided in the fourth they should play just like they did in the first, and went crazy, pulled away, and won by 15-16. So right back on the winning with that. 7-1 run with it, 9-4 in the last 13 there. So we'll grab that NBA Gold Star Play of the Day, best bet over at Tony's Picks. I got rolling tonight. And then I've got a couple college basketball at one play on the ice. A little parlay for everybody today. We're going to take, give me the Brooklyn Nets plus the points. We're going to throw in that Portland play that I told you about. Grab the, take Portland, lay the 3.5 there against the Pelicans. Throw that in there. And then one more. We're going to throw that. Give me the Florida Panthers here in the Winter Classic. I think the hometown team gets the W in the Winter Classic. Throwing the Florida Panthers. There's a little 3-teamer for you today. Someone thinks this one pushes. He must have got the 22. Mr. Wesker's got the 22. Because he's trying for the push. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Though, having yourself a good Friday as we head into the weekend. Shout out to everybody that joined us. Hey, shout out Kelly. Couple more days, last weekend for Kelly, and then she's back to the grind of the school. So she's a school teacher there in Chicago. So enjoying the extended break as the school teachers get, but right back to it. Shout out Nicholas Andy in the chat joining us. Ron Hahn's parlay as well. Hey, OKC covers Michigan State plus 2.5. Arizona money line. Little 3-teamer there from Ron Hahn. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Kevin was in the chat. Kevin joining us. He doesn't like hockey. He just bugs us about hockey. Tony joined us too as well. So he says shout out, happy TGIF from Tony as well. So hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks for joining me, Kevin. Glad to have you here on the happy hour. Good to see you joining me. Been a bit.
We'll stop by when we can, Rod. I like coming out here and talking to you. I like hearing your stuff too as well.
Definitely. Good to have you here joining us on the new year, and looking forward to anytime. You're more than welcome to join us here on the happy hour. I'll always send you the invite, the open invite. Everybody's more than happy to help you or to have you here joining and giving your opinion as well. So, hey, definitely. Oh, that's all Kevin shows up for. See, I was wrong. See, I thought he says he just shows up. He just shows up just for the hockey. Ah. Shout out Kevin there. Shout out Southpaw as well for joining us. It's not bad. It's kind of like hockey on the beach. I don't know. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you can get the best of both worlds. So you got the hockey stuff going over here, and then not too far down the road, you got beaches, bikinis, and it's the triple B going. Beach babes, booze, beer. It's all rolling in Florida. So might not be a bad vibe there. And I'm excited to see what this game is going to look like from a fan. But hey, it's good to see that Florida's trying to get involved in a winter classic type of thing. How is it going to run? Hey, they'll find some places to make some improvements. But the vibe, it'll still be a good vibe. You're in Florida. How could you go wrong? I don't see any gators coming walking by and chopping things up. But other than that, it should be a pretty good. Things be a hard hitting matchup. Yeah, see, oranges, beach, hockey. Can't go wrong. Hey, thanks everybody. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Be sure to be on the lookout. We got the look ahead show with Alessandra coming on a little bit later, and then we got Ramon and the Night Moves for them Night Owls tuning in. Check out Ramon and the Night Moves. Thanks everybody. Let's start the weekend of winning. Have yourself a good one. See you guys soon.